round of 16 game is over, and Real Madrid came out victorious against Juventus. How you doing, Abdul Talib? Good evening. 1-0. Your golden boy scored again. That guy has scored 3 goals, right? That's if I'm not mistaken. 3 goals in 4 games.
Right? 1 assist.
Okay, yes, 3 goals, 1 assist. Games.
Yes.
That guy, the way I'm looking at him, but that guy is a typical number 9, like fox in the box. Knows where to position himself. But look at that header, bullet header. Wow. How you doing? How happy are you?
Yeah, I'm fine.
But we'll say that the game, it was a game of 2 halves. First half, it was all Juventus.
Juve.
Then the second half, Real Madrid took over. So you see that thing that you were complaining of under Ancelotti is still existing.
Yeah, and let me start by saying it was a very good game. Like this is the, let me reiterate that this is the 4th game under XABIALONSO. So like always, fans are not expected to have magic. We cannot just change overnight. So gradually, if you, like I say every day, if you look at every game, our players keep on improving. Fran Garcia, look at Fran Garcia today. He will miss the ball, he will quickly recover it. You know, there were so many positives into this game. Even though the scoreline was a little bit low, I predicted 2-1 and ended up 1-0. But the overall, like you said, the climax of the game was that Gonzalo Garcia's header. And what I will say about him is that I've said it before. So some time ago, Madrid fans were asking that we needed a Joselu kind of striker, you know, a Benzema kind. Some people are saying a Benzema kind of striker. And the first game we played, he showed us that he's a Joselu kind of player, striker. And the second game, he showed that he's a Benzema kind of striker. So every game, the boy keeps on improving. If you look at the first half, just like you said, it wasn't Madrid's game in the first half. And even the Gonzalo was kind of absent in the first half. So not first game, first half. And then boom, second half, he just came in from nowhere and nodded that ball in. I think Tchouaméni had a similar chance but couldn't get the ball earlier. So this is what I keep saying when it comes to, you know, giving, you know, players a chance. Giving players a chance. Whenever you give, so many of the players that we have today are average players. But what makes them above average, or what makes them better game in, game out, is when you continue to trust them. Even though, if you look at what happened today, even though Kylian Mbappé is back, so many people have been speculating that you start and all that. I don't want to call anybody's name, but in our previous era, everybody knows that Mbappé would have just, you know, started the game and all that. But he still did not do that. He allowed Garcia to continue with the form, and look what he gave him. So this is what I keep talking about. I'm not saying that they should bench anybody for anybody. No, all these players that we have in this team can thrive. And this is what happens when you trust everybody. I'm not.
You're just a fan of rotation, but you've forgotten that there's something called chemistry.
Yeah, I understand that. I understand.
You've been together for a very long time to have the chemistry.
Yes, I understand that. While you are rotating, if you look at today's game again, another positive from today's game, you see that even though some of us are a fan of rotation, you didn't hear me complain about saying why didn't Asensio come up. I think he only made changes. Mbappé came in for Gonzalo, Modric came in for what's this guy's name, Ada Güler, and then Valverde came off for Ceballos. I think those are the only changes he made. He had other 2 substitutes, but he didn't make the changes. So, like you said about chemistry, when we talk about change, it's not as if you have to change everybody in the team. You have to exhaust all your 5 substitutions or something. No, there are some, you know, there are some key places, or there are some key areas where you need to, you know, that something is lacking. Maybe the player is tired or something. You need to rest him for another game or all that, and then you bring in somebody. By doing that, you are resting the main player, and then you are giving the other player that is coming on morale boost for another game. So that whenever that player goes out injured or anything, or maybe your preferred player goes out on suspension or something, you have another player that can come in, you know, and play. Even if it's not up to the level, at least you play up to like half or more than half of that what that first player is giving you. So that is just it. And then, like I said earlier, if you look at most of the players are improving. Fran Garcia, Dean Huijsen, I don't even want to talk about him. Dean Huijsen is playing like he has played in that Madrid team for the past 5 to 6 years. he's playing like he's feeling among in the team. Like, and if another this thing again, if you look at this, when at first Madrid were trying to do that, let's go into the box like we did in the last game and score, and then they saw that it wasn't possible because of the defense, Juventus defense and all that. So Valverde started this thing, started shooting from outside the box. And this is the contingency that I'm talking about. If one plan fails for you, then you try the other one. If one plan fails for you, then you try. There's another thing that he didn't talk about, the formation. Today he came out
Oh, I told
clearly
you
with
now.
his
We talked
three
about it
five
the
two.
last time now. We talked about it the last time in our
Came out
match
came out
preview.
his 3-5-2 formation. Yeah. So
And we spoke about it. I was like, is he going three at the back? I don't care whether he's going 3-4-3 or 3-5-2.
3-4-3.
Just three at
Yeah.
the back. Is he going with that three at the back? Because Alonso is someone that can do anything, but that three at the back must be constant. That was what he did at
and again,
at the back.
if you look at another factor again, you see that there's this thing that is in the rule. I don't know whether, but people mostly say it. Analysts and coaches are like that. Sometimes, or most of the times, you don't change what's working for you.
Yes.
You don't change what's really working for, unless if you see that maybe people are beginning to figure you out or something. Then you now start looking for, start looking for switch. But it's always good for you to have another plan whenever, if that one fails, because sometimes, like in this game, they don't have the come back.
The man of the match was given to this guy Valverde. Me, I disagree. I disagree.
It's Gonzalo now.
They were supposed to give it to that Juventus goalkeeper.
That keeper, yeah. But
Juventus goalkeeper stopped you guys from scoring like many goals.
Tried. He did. My own man of the match should be, if it's not Gonzalo Garcia, then it should have been that keeper. It should have been that keeper. And if you look at it, his vote, his fans that vote. And I think for 7 to 5 minutes to the match, you will see something pops up, superior man of the match, you can vote and all that. So they mostly use what the fans are. I think majority is from the fans, so that is just what they use. And fans are emotional. People just, most of the times, they just look at the player. If he does maybe one of the, it's not as if Valverde did not do anything, but you see that there are so many other players who have done so much in the team today, but people tend to notice some players above other players, except maybe if the other player tends to score a goal or something. So, but looking forward, I think now that we have Carvajal is back, and I think he said something when asked, I don't know whether it was during the training or something, that even if anywhere, because some people are speculating that, I think I said it some time ago that he can use him for 3 at the back formation, pair him with the 2 other defenders at the back. So he said that's what some people are speculating, and wherever XABIALONSO wants me to play, that he's going to play there. So Carvajal is back, Militao is back. I think Militao also said something that he's ready to fight for his place at the center back position. So we have a good number of, I think Camavinga is still out, with some other players too are still out. Mendy is still out. So it's a very good boost for us going into the season. Like I said, I'm not even expecting too much in this FIFA Club World Cup, but we take it game in, game out. We take it game after game and see if we get there, if we can get the prize. If we don't get it, then fine. At least we have a positive thing ahead of the season.
Yeah, but how would you feel seeing Bellingham playing against his brother in the quarterfinal? Because if Dortmund wins, they will play against Real Madrid. So
I think
battle of the Bellinghams.
Yeah. And I think even Bellingham himself wants to play against his brother. It's going to be a morale boost to the brother himself, not Bellingham. Bellingham, he wants to show the world that he's better, and all that. That one is just natural. I'm not saying that he's going to compete, but he will just try to show, and then he's going to give the brother a morale boost that a young player from England who started playing at the professional level, probably from at the top level, let me say from Dortmund, can go ahead and be a world-class player or a top player in Madrid. And there was this time that there's this speculation that Madrid are observing him, on the ground, observing Bellingham on the ground. So there's tendency that Madrid, the scouts in Madrid are going to put an eye on him, looking at him for the nearest future and all that. So it's going to be an emotional game if Dortmund qualifies and play with Madrid, and I hope they do because I want to see each one of them, whether it's Dortmund or it's CF Monterrey, is it Monterrey or so? It's either Jude Bellingham or Sergio Ramos. So it's going to be an emotional game. It's going to be an emotional game for all of us, especially the one with Sergio Ramos. So, and I think it's going to be an exciting game. And like I said, we are going to take it game after game, game after game until we get to the trophy, inshallah.
Finally, before we go, we are going to digress a little. Not about today's game. The shocking result we saw yesterday. Al Hilal knocking.
Yeah.
Is it that? Now let's look at it from this angle. Is it that Inter Milan team were exhausted and could not play what Inzaghi was asking them to play? Because Inzaghi, you cannot take it away from him. Inzaghi is a very, very good coach. Very good coach.
Yeah. Very good.
Yeah, he lost 5-0 in the Champions League final, but you cannot take that one away from him. He's a very, very good coach. Look at the way he has structured this Al Hilal
in a short period of time.
A short period, like they are so compact and all those things like that. And their counter attack, man, is crazy. So yesterday I was shocked. I was with my friend just yesterday. I was like, no, Man City will beat Al Hilal now. When I woke up this morning and I saw the results, she himself did not allow me call the guy and say, "Oh boy, see what we see you." Well, God, I was shocked. So what do you have to say? But let's round up.
Okay, just brief. I think let me start with the Inzaghi. I think we had this conversation with you off record one time about Inzaghi, and I told you that if XABIALONSO is not coming to Madrid and we were not going to get your club, I would have preferred Inzaghi, because Inzaghi is that player, is that coach that can make something out of nothing. If you look at the Inter Milan team, you will see that they don't have too many special players in their team. But look where he took them to 2 Champions League finals in the space of 4 seasons. So this is something very, very incredible. And again, just joining the game, I was discussing with my younger brother about this Inter Milan team. And he was telling me that Fluminense or something won them 2-0, knocked them out or something like that. I said, and he was saying the same thing. He said that he feels that they are exhausted. And I told him, yes, the team is exhausted. That is the reality of the Inter Milan team. And that was what I think cost them the final too. Because if you look at how they played in that match with Barcelona, they played their hearts out in that game, leading them to become, exhausted in that. Just a minute, sorry, just a minute. Sorry.
No problem.
So leading them to become, exhausted in that match and all that. So, and secondly, if you look at what he has done with this team so far, he has done with this Al Hilal team in the space of a very, very short time. Look how he has, transform them into a team. I don't think any team is going to beat them in that Saudi League next season with the way they are playing. No. And if you look at
there's Al Ittihad.
No, Al Ittihad, yeah, I know.
Yeah, so they are going to be
Al Hilal has always been Al Hilal has always been, even without Inzaghi coming in, has always been one of the top teams in the Saudi League, because I do watch some of their matches. There's this player, there's one player like that, one Arab player. I've forgotten his name. The guy, he's injured. He has not even played any game in this Club World Cup. So also with Mitrovic, their top scorer. Mitrovic has not been in that team for quite a time now. So imagine if those guys are back. Next season, they are going to be unstoppable. So that's just for Inzaghi. And then, if you look at Man City again, before this game, I think we had a little this where I told you that I didn't want to meet Man City. I want us to meet Juventus. And when we're going out of the group, when they were trying to wrap up the group stage matches, I was praying that Al Hilal should qualify, because I know that if Salzburg qualifies as the second runner-up of that group, I know that they can't do anything against either Man City or Juve. they won't be able to do anything against them. That is just my prediction then. And it proved right. Before I slept off yesterday night, I had it that even if Man City is going to beat Al Hilal, they are going to give them a run for their money. That was the reason that I didn't rule out that I didn't even expect an upset where Al Hilal will win. No, but I was expecting that Al Hilal is going to give them a run for their money. Maybe they'll draw, go to extra time, and then Man City will win. That was what I was expecting. And then when I just checked, I just saw that Al Hilal is winning, and then I said, "Wow!" And there's this. I think Ronaldo said something that I'm not quoting him, but that was in the context of what he was saying, that Man City underestimated them. In fact, not just Man City, again, the whole European world underestimated them. They looked at them that they're from Saudi, they will not be able to do anything and all that, and look where they are today. So, and I think that was what played a major role in that match, because everybody, if you look at every analyst, then compare it with PSG and Inter Milan. PSG scored Inter Milan 4-0. But still, Inter Miami 4-0. But still, some analysts or some football pundits are still finding a way to praise. I even saw some of them bringing out some stats that Inter Miami is the first team to knock out a European team in a Club World Cup. Does it to qualify to the group stage of a Club World Cup? They started rolling out some kind of things, excuses, and then now that Hilal, they are now the same people are now giving excuse to Guardiola that he has bought. Some of them are saying that he just bought new players. They are trying to have a team chemistry.
From January to now, he has spent over 300 million.
So the double standard when it's Guardiola, or any other coach. I like Guardiola as a coach. I think I told you this. I like Guardiola. Before, I used to I don't like him because he's a Barcelona coach and all that. But I like him because he's a tactician. He's a person that can bring out several tactics and all that. But the truth is that he's beginning to lose a grip of it. Maybe they say all empires or all empires at one point in time will come to an end. So probably maybe we are looking at the end of his reign as a top coach or something.
Yeah, he's trying to refresh his tactics. Now, the person that almost every coach now should try to copy is Luis Enrique. His tactics. His positional.
Where he doesn't have a static number 9. And again, sorry, in this our game, I don't know if you notice something, because I noticed that immediately when I saw the change in Mbappe coming up, I was shouting on top of my voice that this guy should remove Mbappe instead of Gonzalo Garcia. And my reason is
Vinicius instead of Gonzalo.
Vinicius instead of Gonzalo Garcia. And my reason is that we need, whether we like it or not, one of the things that put us down last season was the fact that we didn't have much presence in that box. And that boy is giving us that presence in the box. So, and if you notice, immediately Kylian Mbappe came in, we had less presence in that box. Everybody was outside. Mbappe was outside. Vinicius was outside.
This guy didn't play again today, Rodrigo. Seems like Brexit is getting closer and closer.
And there's this thing that I saw now where I think the president said that any player that wants to leave, he should make sure that he has a very good offer on the table. He should talk to whoever he wants to talk to, or the team that he wants to talk to, bring the offer to Madrid, and Madrid will allow him to go. That was what the president said. So I think he's signaling to Rodrigo or anybody that wants to leave, which is obviously Rodrigo. So like I said, Madrid will not hold you. Madrid has decided to leave. Madrid has allowed Ronaldo to go when he was in his top, form that time. So I don't think Madrid will hold on to anybody. Sergio Ramos, you can name so many of them. So I don't think Madrid will hold on to anybody. Anybody that wants to leave, fine, you can leave. There are other players that will come and lace his boots. That's just it.
All right, Hamisu, thank you very much for joining me. See you next time.
Thank you.